Glencairn Crystal, it's been around 40 years, and we've predominantly supplied corporate gifting and branding crystal and glassware for many years. Always working on high-end crystal originally, and there's a crystal house that's where we focused, and we now have sort of drifted ourselves towards the spirits industry, the drinks industry, supplying sort of like promotional glassware and containers in the last 10, 20 years, really doing super high-end luxury decanters that we design and develop for all the whisky companies all around the world. We export to about 85 countries or so, knowing that our product is actually resold in somewhere in a region of 150 countries. We introduced the Glencairn glass just over 20 years ago as a way of raising the profile of the business and promoting what we do, generally to try and get it outside of Scotland into all the distilleries and make us more aware nationally. And then it ended up being picked up in America and all the bourbon companies and all the American whiskey companies that were flourishing, and has grown massively since then and raised our awareness massively, really massively since then. However, the business itself has been supplying containers and crystal decanters to the whiskey industry for 20 years before that. And people forget that, and all of those decanters, the majority of them were going internationally. So people knew about us even before then. It's quite progressive, how we evolved as a business. It wasn't some sort of light bulb moment, it was opportunity, build up opportunity, experience of the world at large. People still see a crystal company as quite this traditional stable thing, and that's really not what we're about. And we're still, I still see ourselves as behind the scenes, but because of our Glencairn glass and its reputation, we're dragged up to sit beside them. When Jack Daniels says, we need to joint brand this product, can we do that? We want to make sure your name's on the product. And you're like, really? It's the biggest company, the biggest brands, recognized brands want to do that. And it's quite scary sometimes, but it's really, it's amazing. Biggest surprising success has been we introduced the glass and we only offered it to whiskey companies because it was their tool to use to exploit the education program for enjoying whiskey. Fantastic story. In the meantime, some guys had picked up on our glass and were buying it in bigger and bigger quantities. And it turned out they were in Amazon, and then they bought hundreds of thousands, then millions, and promote it around the world. And when you start to see all these other channels open up, it can be really quite surprising when you're in all of the major stores, etc., around the continent. And then it comes back and other people want to buy it and develop it around the world, so it just gathers pace. The biggest challenges, is obviously with the pandemic, logistics and coordination, etc. Personally, I think that the challenge is also the opportunity, because you go out to markets and you engage to find the ways to get your product into a marketplace. And I'd say the challenges are actually the opportunities, because you're learning as well. And so I never see them in quite the same way. I think maybe language barriers and trying to find the right network of people to promote to was always a challenge. But I think it's just a bit of patience, because nothing comes to you, whether it's locally, nationally, or internationally. It requires a bit of graft and a bit of commitment. My advice is it's not as scary as it seems. You go on that journey, go on that trade mission, make your connections, take your time, plan it longer. Don't plan to transform yourself tomorrow. Sometimes it just takes a bit of time. But if you take your time, you will find connections, you'll make the connections, and you'll grow. because of it. Because if you show a commitment to be out there, then you'll generally find people who are ready to pick it up for you and run with it. If you've got a good product, there's a whole world market out there that if it's good, everybody will want a bit of it. And a lot of people don't realise that you should go outside the marketplace, outside the local marketplace, to get that experience. Sometimes if you are in your local marketplace, you are in a box, then people only see you one way. And sometimes you really need to go afar to get the insight into yourself that you never really understood was there. As much as we worked with the whiskey industry, when we went to America, everybody jumped on and supported us and raised our awareness at a level we couldn't even contemplate. And when we were back, when our refocused back in the UK, everybody followed the success of the stories of everywhere we've been else around the world. So sometimes you need to leave to see that success and bring it back home. You know, and interestingly, one of the great successes of that in international business, you know, if a market goes down, there's other markets that are not affected by those market impacts. You know, there's always something happening somewhere in the world that's giving volatility to the marketplace, but it's that spread of risk is a good thing. And it's a confidence builder to say, actually, you know, if all your eggs are in one basket, and give yourself some success or some stability and look after the success of your business long term.